I noticed the same man appearing everywhere. The first time I saw him was in an underground parking garage. He was standing still, leaning against a pillar, just staring directly at me. He didn't look threatening, just present. The next day he was on the corner of my street. Same jacket, same posture, still not moving. I told myself I was overthinking it. It's a big city, right? You see the same faces. But then I saw him again, in a place he couldn't possibly have reached before me. He wasn't following me. He wasn't walking behind me or driving behind my car. He was already there, waiting. One evening, I was walking into my apartment building. I heard footsteps echo behind me in the empty lobby, quick, hurried steps. I spun around, my heart pounding. There was no one there. The space was completely empty. But on the wall, scrawled in what looked like fresh marker, was a sentence. This part was just to see you. A cold shiver went down my spine. See me do what? See me jump? See me panic? I ran up the stairs, fumbled with my keys, and slammed the door behind me, leaning against it, trying to catch my breath. I spent the rest of the night jumping at every creak and groan of the old building. The next morning, I opened my front door and almost tripped over something. It wasn't a note. It was an object, an old scratched keychain. It was exactly like mine, except I had lost mine a week ago. I'd torn my apartment apart looking for it. I picked it up. It felt warm, like it had just been held in someone's hand. I turned it over. Carved crudely into the back was a number, 210. 2 out of 10? What did that mean? A game? A countdown? I went back inside, locking the door, and checked every room, my senses on high alert. Everything looked normal. The kitchen was clean, the living room undisturbed, until I reached the bedroom. On my perfectly made bed there was a single folded piece of paper. My blood ran cold. I unfolded it with trembling hands. It said, "Part 3 is next." I'd had enough. I was done being scared. I was going to find him, confront him. I threw on my jacket and stormed outside, determined to catch him in the act. But there was no one on the corner. Nothing 2 streets away. The city felt unnervingly normal. I reached my car, ready to drive around and search, but stopped dead. The driver's side mirror was folded in. I never, ever leave it like that. It's part of my routine. Lock the car, check the mirror, always. A small note was stuck under the windshield wiper. I pulled it off. "You don't like it when I change your routine." My pocket vibrated. A message from an unknown number. My hands shook as I read it. "You looked at me when you locked the door." I whipped my head around, scanning the street, the windows, the rooftops. Nothing. Then, as I turned back to my car, for a split second, I saw him. A figure standing right behind me, reflected in the dark glass of the car window. I blinked, and he was gone. The next day, I decided to break my own routine before he could. I took the subway instead of the bus. As I descended into the station, the familiar smell of stale air and electricity filled my lungs. But on the platform, leaning against a pillar, was a handwritten sign, "Too early for you." My stomach dropped. I ignored it, got on the train, and found a seat, trying to blend in with the morning crowd. The doors hissed shut. Then the electronic information screen at the end of the car, which usually showed the next stop, flickered. A single stark message appeared: "Get off at the next stop." I looked around. No one else seemed to notice or care. They were all lost in their phones, their music, their own worlds. At the next station, my door, the one right next to me, slid open. All the other doors on the train remained shut. Everyone stayed inside, oblivious. It was an invitation, or a command. I stepped out onto the empty platform. On a bench right in the center was a small, folded map. It was a map of the local area, with my new route to work drawn on it in red ink. But there was one extra arrow, pointing away from my destination, leading to an old, abandoned-looking industrial building a few blocks away. The door to the building was slightly ajar. Against my better judgment, I pushed it open and went inside. The air was thick with dust. In front of me were 2 elevators. Scrawled on the wall between them were 2 options: left, fast, and right, safe. Then I heard a voice right behind my ear. calm, quiet, and terrifyingly close. Choose like you're alone. I don't remember pressing the button. I don't remember the feeling of it under my finger. The next thing I knew, the elevator doors were closing, sealing me in. That's when I realized something truly terrifying. I couldn't remember which one I chose, fast or safe. I looked up at the display panel, expecting to see floor numbers, but there was only one word, glowing in red: correction. The elevator didn't move up or down, it just hummed. When the doors finally opened, I wasn't in the building anymore. I was in a small, square room, bathed in cold, sterile, artificial light. The walls were covered, floor to ceiling, in photographs of me. Some were taken from a distance across the street, others were from behind, and some were taken from inside my home. In the center of the room was a metal table. On it were my keys and my phone. My heart skipped a beat. I patted my pockets. My keys and my phone were still there. They were duplicates. A voice crackled through a hidden speaker. The same calm voice from the hallway. Now you understand the difference between you and what follows you. The lights went out, plunging me into total darkness. When they flickered back on a moment later, something was missing. My watch. It was gone from my wrist. I never took it off. I always wore it. New text had appeared on the wall, painted in black. Without time, you react better. In the corner of the room, a monitor flickered to life, showing a live security feed. It was me, from a few minutes ago, entering the building. But that version of me, the one on the screen, was still wearing the watch. The voice spoke again. That one is still intact. An old burner-style phone appeared on the table. It wasn't mine. It buzzed, and a message lit up the screen. I'll give your watch back. A second message followed instantly. You give me something in return. A photo appeared on the screen. It was my apartment. The front door was wide open. Beneath the photo, a single word: permission. The voice from the speaker returned, still unnervingly calm. I don't enter without it. Two options appeared on the phone's screen: accept or delay. I stared at them, my mind racing. I didn't press anything. A countdown started automatically. 30, 29, 28. My personal phone, the one in my pocket, vibrated. A message from an unnamed contact. It's okay, I only came in to look. I scrambled to the door of the room and tried the handle. Locked. New text appeared on the wall. Delay is still a choice. The countdown reached 0. The room didn't go dark. It didn't shake. It simply changed. In the blink of an eye, I was standing in my own apartment. The sterile white room was gone, and I wasn't alone anymore. He was sitting in the armchair across from me, calm, just watching me. The same man from the parking garage. My watch was on the coffee table between us. He slid it toward me with one finger. Now we're equal, he said. His voice was exactly as I'd heard it over the speaker, and that's when I finally understood the horrifying truth. He didn't follow me to hurt me. He followed me to learn me, to study me, to become me. He followed me to replace me. And the worst part of it all? As I stand here telling you this story, I don't know which one of us left that building first. Thanks for watching. If this story stuck with you, make sure to like and subscribe for more. And let me know in the comments what you would have done. See you next time.